breaking news, hot off the press. So it looked like Angel Reese has responded to all of the drama and been suspended. Guys, we finna unpack it all. Your boy John Liquidator been out of the drama, out of the studio, minding my own business, and I'll be honest with you, bro. A lot of people was blowing me up so much I had to cut the damn phone off.
The WNBA just dropped a bombshell, and of course, it involves Angel Reese, the rookie who has been at the center of headlines all season long for her game, for her attitude, for her clashes on and off the court, has now been officially suspended. And the timing? You couldn't script it any better. Reese is suspended right before facing the Indiana Fever.
So, a few minutes ago, this happened in the game. So, I'm just gonna have to pause this constantly, because if I don't pause this constantly, it's gonna get copyright claimed. So, Sanaya Rivers takes a jump shot. She takes a jump shot. Angel Reese is trying to go for the rebound, and she smacks Aaliyah Edwards in the face. Absolutely sold by Aaliyah Edwards, but Angel Reese smacks Aaliyah Edwards in the face. It is what it is. With the way that the game's being refereed in the WNBA, this is a technical foul. A smack to the face is a technical foul, whether the intent is there or not.
Yes, Caitlin Clark's fever, the matchup fans circled weeks ago, the matchup that already carried all the tension of a brewing rivalry. And now, the league says Angel Reese won't even step foot on the court. So what happened? In a heated battle, Reese went up for a rebound and caught Aaliyah Edwards across the face. The refs went to the monitor, reviewed it, and didn't hesitate. Technical foul. And that single whistle triggered the one thing Chicago Sky fans feared most: Reese hitting the suspension threshold.
Will once again not be playing. So that's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You will see neither of them on the court tomorrow night, and there are so many stories that are currently unfolding around these two, around the Indiana Fever, around the Chicago Sky. So we have so much to go over today. Let's jump right in. And let's start with the newest updates on Caitlin Clark's mysterious groin injury that has kept her out for most of this season. Now, I told you guys in my last video that I was going to stop talking about this until we know for sure, but we kind of got some new information that is almost giving us an answer. So I'm just gonna play this clip for you guys here. This is what Coach Stephanie White had to say about Caitlin.
But here's the part that's driving fans insane. Was it really suspension worthy? Was it intent? Was it sell job acting by Edwards? Or was it just another moment where the league seems to come down harder on Angel Reese than anyone else? Because let's be real, every time Angel Reese has been close to Caitlin Clark, controversy follows. Whether it's trash talk, double text, or the "you can't see me" theatrics, the spotlight never leaves her. And now, the question is simple. Did the league just take Angel Reese out of Indiana on purpose? Stay locked in, because what comes next could expose more about the WNBA's handling of stars than any game this season.
But I'm here to tell you, when I picked my phone up and I looked at all of these damn alerts, I say, hold up, wait a minute. It is looking spooky. Angel Reese got suspended. Angel Reese threw her team under the bus. When the hell did this happen, bro? I take a few hours off, go have some dinner, chill, live my life like a regular, real American. And I'm telling you right now, boy, all hell done broke loose. Now, I'm going to try to track this thing as best.
To understand why this suspension has fans buzzing, you've got to look at the history, both of Angel Reese this season and of how the WNBA has been calling games around her. From the very start of her rookie year, Reese has been on the edge of technical trouble. She plays with fire, she talks with swagger, and she stares down opponents like she owns the floor. That's the Bayou Barbie brand. Unapologetic, defiant, built for the spotlight. But in the WNBA, that edge comes at a cost. She's been racking up technicals like souvenirs, and everyone knew she was only one whistle away from a suspension.
Where she is at with 3 more regular season games on the books before playoffs.
Have enough time.
Yeah, we really want to use this West Coast trip to evaluate. We're going to sit down after practice today and hopefully have a direction soon.
Do you anticipate you guys would decide and maybe even say something publicly between now and Tuesday, just given the amount of time?
Yeah, I think that's the hope. We knew that we had a stretch over the weekend to really see where we are, and the hope is to sit down and have an answer one way or another. Yeah.
What's the furthest she's gone to this point?
The furthest she's gone.
How much has she been able to get accomplished?
She hasn't been able to do a whole lot of contact, so she's been able to get up and down.
And guess what? That moment came just in time for Indiana. Now here's where things get interesting. Reese hasn't exactly made a habit of showing up in Fever games. Remember the last matchup? She wasn't even on the bench. The last road trip to Indianapolis? Nowhere to be seen. Fans joked she was ducking Clark and the Fever crowd. So when this latest foul just so happens to trigger a suspension right before her return to Indiana, you can see why conspiracy theories are flying. But this isn't just about Angel Reese missing one game. This is about the Fever's playoff push. Indiana needs every win they can get, and knocking off the Chicago Sky without their best rebounder? That's a golden opportunity. And for the WNBA, every Clark versus Reese showdown is ratings gold. So suspending Angel now feels like either the strictest enforcement of the rulebook or the strangest bit of timing we've seen all season. And it leaves us asking, is this discipline or is this drama by design? Here's how it all unfolded. Step by step. Late in the game, South Carolina rookie Sanaya Rivers pulls up for a jumper. Angel Reese crashes the glass, fighting for position. Aaliyah Edwards steps in, they bump, and suddenly Edwards is clutching her face. Slow motion shows it. Reese's hand makes contact, not a haymaker, not a knockout punch, but enough for the refs to stop everything. The whistle blows, the officials head to the monitor, and if you've watched the WNBA this season, you already knew what was coming. The league has made one thing crystal clear. A smack to the face, intentional or not, equals a technical foul. That's the rule. No gray area. No, but she sold it. No, it didn't look that bad. Contact to the face equals tech. Period. And for Angel Reese, who's been walking a tightrope with technicals all season, this was the last straw. That one call tipped her over the limit, triggering an automatic one-game suspension. And let's not forget, Reese herself had been skating on thin ice. Analysts had been counting down her techs like a ticking time bomb. Fans on social media joked it wasn't a question of if, but when. And wouldn't you know it? The when is the exact moment her team needed her against Caitlin Clark's Fever. So let's strip it down. Reese makes contact. Edwards reacts. Refs go to the monitor. Tech assessed. Suspension triggered. On paper, clean. By the book. But in reality, a storm of suspicion, timing, and controversy. Because in the WNBA, nothing around Angel Reese is ever simple. Now here's where the controversy really starts to boil. Because yes, the rulebook says contact to the face is an automatic technical. But how many times this season have we seen players shove, elbow, jaw at each other, and walk away with nothing more than a warning? Think about it. Double techs have been flying around the league like candy. Players square up, bump chests, chirp in each other's faces, and the refs usually go with the safest option. Call it even, move on. But with Angel Reese, it always feels different. It always feels heavier, almost like the refs are waiting for her to cross the line. And that's the contradiction fans can't ignore. If intent doesn't matter, fine, call it consistent across the board. But has it really been consistent? Or does Angel Reese's reputation precede her every time a whistle blows? And then there's the irony. Angel Reese herself has said she doesn't back down from anyone. She's been the one dishing out the taunts, the gestures, the "I'm in your city" call-outs. But when it comes to Indiana, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she somehow never makes it to the court. Coincidence? Or convenient absence? This is where frustration meets suspicion. The rule is the rule, but the timing feels loaded. And that's exactly what turns a simple foul into a full-blown WNBA firestorm. Here's the thing about Angel Reese. She's not just any rookie. She's not a role player. She's the Chicago Sky's engine, their emotional spark, their rebounding monster who flips momentum with sheer effort. Take her off the floor, and the Sky don't just lose stats, they lose identity. Reese leads her team in boards, hustle plays, and energy. She's not afraid to throw her body around, and sometimes that edge crosses a line. But here's the key. 3 or 4 of her previous technicals could have easily been rescinded. We've seen her teed up for trash talk. We've seen her slapped with double techs just for standing face-to-face with an opponent. In other words, her rap sheet is padded, not by violent plays, but by reputation. That's why this suspension cuts deeper than just missing a game. It feeds into a narrative that Reese is being targeted, policed differently, held to a standard other players somehow slip through. And for Angel, that's fuel. Every whistle against her becomes another chip on her shoulder. Every fine, every suspension, another chance to say, they don't want me to win. But make no mistake, Angel Reese has also leaned into the villain role. The trash talk, the celebrations, the feuds, she thrives in chaos. And in the WNBA, where rivalries are rare and personalities often muted, Reese stands out like a lightning rod, which makes it even wilder that her biggest clash, Clark versus Reese, round 2 in Indiana, is being stripped away. So ask yourself, is this suspension really about protecting the game? Or is it about protecting the league's image, even if it means sidelining one of its most polarizing stars? Angel Reese's suspension isn't just about one game. It's about what it represents for the WNBA, its fans, and its future. First, let's talk star power. The league has been begging for rivalries to draw mainstream attention. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese is exactly that. The clash of personalities, the clash of playstyles, the college rematch that turned into a professional storyline. And now, right when the cameras are ready, the league has pulled one of its headliners. That's not just a lost game, that's a lost spectacle. Second, this exposes the WNBA's tightrope walk with officiating. If you go by the book, players like Reese who play with fire are going to rack up techs all season. But if you start rescinding calls just to protect star matchups, suddenly your credibility is shot. Either way, the league looks stuck. Too strict or too inconsistent. Both narratives fuel distrust. Third, the cultural angle. Angel Reese has become more than a player, she's a symbol. For some fans, she's the villain. For others, she's the unapologetic face of a new generation of women's basketball. Every call against her sparks debates about bias, favoritism, and whether the WNBA can handle outspoken stars who don't fit the old mold. And finally, the Fever themselves. Indiana is fighting tooth and nail for a playoff berth, with Caitlin Clark carrying the weight of impossible expectations. Facing Chicago without Angel Reese? That swings momentum in a massive way. Which is why critics argue this suspension doesn't just punish Reese, it reshapes the playoff race. So what we're left with is bigger than one foul, one tech, or one suspension. This is about power, image, and the league deciding what kind of drama it wants to embrace, and what kind it wants to silence. So here we are, Angel Reese suspended. The Indiana Fever handed a golden opportunity, and the WNBA, once again, stuck in the middle of controversy. Let's call it what it is. This isn't just about a smack to the face. This is about perception. Fans don't just see a foul, they see a pattern. A league that seems harsher on certain players. A league that says it wants rivalries, but sometimes undercuts them at the exact moment they're ready to explode. And for Angel Reese, the story writes itself. She's the lightning rod. Every tech, every whistle, every sideline camera angle feeds into the idea that she's being singled out. Whether you believe that or not doesn't even matter, because in sports, perception is reality. And right now, the perception is that Reese has been benched by more than just her own actions. But here's the kicker. The drama isn't going away. If anything, this fuels it. The next time Angel Reese faces Caitlin Clark, the spotlight will burn even brighter. The stakes will feel even higher. And the conversation around WNBA officiating, fairness, and favoritism will rage louder than ever. So what's the truth? Is this suspension just the rulebook in action? Or is it a subtle move to control the league's narrative? Only the WNBA knows for sure. But one thing's guaranteed. Fans are watching closer than ever, and that's where you come in. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was this suspension fair, or was Angel Reese targeted? Smash that like button if you think the WNBA is finally facing the fire of its own decisions. And don't forget to subscribe to Her Hoops for more breakdowns, more drama, and more truth the mainstream won't tell you. Because in this league, every whistle tells a story. And this one might just be the loudest yet.